This is the Real Footy podcast. Thanks for joining us to tip the first week of the finals. My name's Andrew Wu, and joining me today is former tipping leader Peter Ryan.
Former.
Very former.
That's a bit rude, actually. But it has been an absolute fall from grace for me, and I'm embarrassed to be back in the pack. I don't know, it's just like disappointing. Really disappointing. I can't say it enough. I've said it every week, haven't I?
It's been a debacle.
I just lost my way a bit through the midway, and I've never been able to get it back. And I'm only 3 behind the leader, but it feels like I may as well be 100 miles away.
Well, for you, given the number of winners that you're not tipping at the moment. Caro's in the lead. Caro, Callum Jasper, Mark McGowan and Jake Nile on 149. I'm interested to see how many of them are going to start playing.
Well, we've got the chief footy writer ahead in Jake Nile, so that's a good result. That's really, where you want the leading figure in the office to be leading the tips.
And a social tipping competition I'm in, our leaders would be about 6 off the pace. So it hasn't been a high standard being set in our tipping this year, unfortunately.
Okay, when did you do a marketing degree? That's really good. Really good advertising, mate. Yeah, no, go with that. It's fantastic. Talk it up. It's a new season. It
is a new season, finals, and this is where I like to think that I do my best work in September.
Well, I've just been waiting for this moment. So, now it's upon us. We can get going.
You don't get extra tips, though. Well, I mean, most tipping competitions are done by now, but we like to keep our one going for a little bit longer.
Well, particularly when you've got 4 people on 149 and 2 in Mick Gleeson and John Perrick on 148, and then me and Stokesy on 146.
I'm next 145.
Then it's worth keeping going because you never know what can happen.
Well, can you make up 3 in 9 games?
You could, but
it's really one round of footy spread over 4 weeks.
Yeah, exactly right.
So it's going to be difficult without upsets, but let's see how we go. We're going to have a bit of a different format this week, given there's only 4 games. So we've assigned teams. We've assigned each tipster a team that they've got to state a case for and why they can win. We're not obliged to tip that side. So I'll put that up there at the start.
Right.
I've got the home teams for the qualifying finals, which means you've got Collingwood and Brisbane. You've got to state a case, and then we flip for the elimination finals. You've got the home sides, and I've got the away sides. So we're going to try and make a case, state a case for your club as to why they can win. So,
well, do you want me to start with the Magpies? Thursday at Adelaide Oval, or do you want to kick off?
Well, let's not confuse the listeners too much. We'll go home team, away team. I'll make a case for Adelaide, and I shouldn't start with Isaac Rankin and Josh Rosselli being big outs, which they are. But I think where Adelaide have got the advantage over Collingwood. I mean, they won a month ago, and that game wasn't played in conditions I felt which suited Adelaide. I was a bit surprised by their tactics that night in terms of trying to they didn't try and take the game on because I felt a more expansive game would have suited Adelaide more.
Both teams had a spare behind the footy from memory.
Yeah, it was tough viewing actually, and because those two teams are top teams. We kind of see it as, it was an engrossing encounter, but if it was 14th and 15th playing that, we wouldn't be saying the same thing.
Stakes were high that night.
Yeah, exactly. They're even higher here. Reason why I think Adelaide can win, I mean, the weather's going to suit them better. There's no rain. It's some of I know people point to, when it wasn't raining last time, Collingwood got 5 goals or 3 or 4 goals up. But I noticed that a lot of the goals they scored early were from really unorthodox entries inside 50. They just scunged the ball on the ground just to bring it to ground to take Adelaide's sort of upset their system. But I don't really... to me, that smelt of desperation from a Collingwood point of view that, we can't pick apart your system, so we're just going to try and win through chaos. I mean, if they want to do that again, maybe that's their chance. But I felt like that was a really important win for Adelaide in terms of the belief they got from being able to beat Collingwood. One of their bogey sides. They finally beat a top team, beat them fair and square, and we all know the controversy afterwards. Rankin and Rosselli that's a concern, but I think where Adelaide can win is that they don't need to dominate in the midfield, given their tall forwards. They only need to kind of they're 50-50. You're going to back their forwards over Collingwood's, and Jeremy Howe's just a massive out.
They also get Max McElhaney and Rory Laird didn't play that game.
Exactly, and they're two important players to their system. I mean, McElhaney's not a star, but he doesn't play a bad game. So for me, that's the reason why Adelaide will win, and I kind of think for Collingwood to win, they need to dominate the midfield. But if it's anywhere near 50-50 in terms of inside 50 entries, Adelaide with their scoring power, not just with their marking forwards, but even like Ben Keys and he's kicked 30 goals, I think. Alex Neil-Bullen chips in for goals. They'll find a way to get the 13, 14 goals that they need, and Collingwood have really struggled in that regard, and no Jeremy Howe hurts them, so I'm tipping the Crows.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, it was a good case you made, but Collingwood's going to dominate out of the midfield. Darcy Cameron is a better ruckman. He was best on ground last time the two teams played, and he'll be even more superior to Riley O'Brien, and I think they can dominate in that area of the ground. It's the only weakness the Crows really have. Collingwood's got the smarts of Pendlebury and Nick Dacos, and they've also got a bit more depth with side-bottom Crisp. Josh Dacos they can throw in there. Dan Houston played on a wing that night, and it was the first time he'd done that, so he'll be better for the run. And I also think if they include Mason Cox, which they think they will...
sounds like he's going to play.
Yeah, instead of Dan McStay, who was really ordinary that game, no disrespect, Collingwood then have a marking target. So if they can get the sort of supply they did last time, no reason why they can't get... They won't get 71 to 37 or whatever it was, but they'll get an ascendancy in that particular area, and Cox will bring the ball to ground or take marks. He'll definitely worry the Crows defenders, who I don't really think they're a good back line. Josh Worrell, Keane, McElhaney, as we said, they're good players, but it's a system-based back line. I think Collingwood can, if they get enough supply, have learned a lot from last time and make them pay on the scoreboard. And they need to do that, because if Adelaide get it down to their forward line with their three tools, Darcy Fogarty, Tex Walker and Riley Thilthorpe.
Your man.
My man, who...
A thriller.
They're actually pretty quiet, apart from the Thil Seeker taking an important mark late in that game.
The conditions didn't suit, and they will suit them better this time. There's no rain forecast Thursday night.
No, Cox will be great, though, to have as a player, not only up forward, but down the line to relieve Darcy Cameron, who was extraordinary the last time they played, as I said. And also I think Collingwood will have learned a lot in how they actually manage that defensive system, because they were really struggling at that particular point in the season. And the last 2 weeks, they've restricted teams to 56 and 75 points, I think it is, which is back to their best. Collingwood can definitely win. They need a big game from Darcy Moore. It's a 50-50 game for me. I'm tipping the Crows based on their home ground advantage, and they finish top, and they've won, 12 or something in a row?
And 19 since we've gone to this final system, when it's 1v4, one has won 19 times.
Out of how many?
Out of 25.
Is that right? So I'm definitely tipping the Crows, but I can make a case, as I've just done, for Collingwood. And if I was a debater, which I never was, I would sit down with a big grin on my face and say, "Cop that, buddy."
I wouldn't rule out Collingwood, but I think there's a very narrow avenue pathway to victory for them.
Yep, and it's the big sticks, mate.
Yeah, the conditioning point of view, do Collingwood have any advantage in terms of conditioning, given they had a training block, and it's about with the idea of getting them to peak now.
That is unknown, but they don't have Bobby Hill again, didn't play last time. They don't have Jeremy Howe again, didn't play last time, Jeremy Howe. But they have Beau McCreary back when he was in doubt, but he played against them last time, but was a bit off the boil. His speed's
important, isn't it?
And De Goey's back in form. That's another big thing that I didn't actually mention. His game against Melbourne was what got Collingwood supporters excited about the prospect of
can he
his
sustain
finals.
it though? It's a good sign that he played well, but I often find when you've come back from when your preparation hasn't been ideal, your form fluctuates a lot, and that may have been one of those fluctuations on the positive side.
No, there's no doubt players who have a full season and are in good form, such as Jordan Dawson, are going to play well in finals. De Goey is still a question mark, but we all know what he's capable of, and he will have got great confidence out of that performance against Melbourne, which I think he flourishes on confidence.
I can see the Pies winning this, but if they were to get up, they need everything to go right in terms of they need to start well, silence the crowd,
Silence the crowd in Adelaide. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
They're not going to silence the crowd.
Well, they will if it's 5 goals to nothing.
Silence the crowd.
There won't be much noise there. But they need to.
They'll
They
need a loudspeaker.
They need to take the crowd.
Make some
The
noise.
crowd out of it. And if they start well, they can do it.
I know what you mean.
But they need to win the midfield as well. I mean, there's just too many factors. They need to get a big night out of Elliott, get something out of McCreary in front of goals, and probably Chris would have to kick
the other
a few
thing,
as well.
and we'll move on to the next game.
There's just too many things against them. I can say if Collingwood were to win, maybe a goal or two, but I wouldn't be surprised if Adelaide won this by a big margin.
No, fair enough, but very few Adelaide Crows players have played finals. This is their first final for most of them, apart from Tex and Rory and maybe Jordan Dawson, I assume, played a final or two in Sydney.
Yep, that's right.
So there's not... That's a huge factor. Collingwood won't lie down.
No, Collingwood will be experienced. Travelling won't affect them. But
Collingwood's
I think
never lost a final.
The other thing is also Adelaide, this isn't a cutthroat final, so that might help as well in terms of settling the nerves. Not everything's on the line. So
okay.
I'm tipping the Crows.
Well,
you're tipping the Crows as well.
I'm tipping the Crows, absolutely.
Next game, Friday night. This is the best match of them all, I think, in the first week. Geelong against Brisbane at the MCG. I'll start with Geelong, eh? I think the most important thing you need in September is health, and Geelong have a full strength team.
Maybe Reece Stanley in doubt.
Maybe. Well, there's always a little bit of ducks and drakes with selection at Geelong.
Yeah.
But I mean, the question mark over Geelong is that what do you make of their form going in, given that they had played a lot of the lower sides, but they won convincingly. And the best team that they did play in that time, the Swans, I mean, they beat them pretty comfortably as well. So, I mean, yes, there is a little bit of there's an element of trust with Geelong, but I think with a full team, Max Holmes and Bailey Smith providing that run out of the midfield, Tom Atkins will probably get a job on, imagine, Lachie Neale.
Well, I think Oshie Mullen or Mark O'Connor will get one of those jobs.
One of those, yeah. But that's important for them to get that right. But I feel like Geelong, with their strength in the forward line, Jeremy Cameron, I mean, who's the right matchup for him? I mean, do they throw Harris Andrews to Cameron or...
No, Leicester always plays on Cameron, and I think that Harris Andrews, if Stanley plays, Blitzards might occupy Harris Andrews, because last time the two teams played, Shannon Neale copped an absolute bath of Harris.
Maybe they back him in again this time.
No, they won't.
But I don't see... I mean, I think this will be an extremely close game, but if I had to make the case for Geelong, the fact that they've been very impressive in winning in the last couple of months, really. No injuries.
Absolutely. They've done exactly what they need. They've won 6 in a row since, I think, they lost to Brisbane Lions.
Yeah, Brisbane were the last team to beat them.
And that was... Brisbane were exceptional that night. They moved the ball quickly out of the back half, and Geelong had no answer. Players like Dane Zorko would just get the ball and go as quick and as direct as they could.
They were playing for a bit as well, I think, when Brisbane played Geelong. Brisbane had a bit more on the line.
They did.
Given their
but they clicked
injury
into
situation.
Form because of what they needed to do, and they moved the ball off the line at various times, which was exceptional to watch, and they made Geelong look very difficult because they made the ground big. And when they made the ground big, they were able to
do it,
score.
Geelong, given it's such a narrow ground.
No, but they made it work, and then they were able to defensively get back and squeeze Geelong and give them very little opportunity to score. Having said that, Geelong kicked 6-15, I think, from memory that night. And
it was a wretched night for the Cats, but I don't think that result really means too much. I mean, you go back to last year's prelim final.
Oh, it'll be a great game.
Geelong were on top until Max Holmes got injured.
Yeah.
And that changed the game, I think, quite a bit. But the factor is, I mean, Geelong have got... I really like Jeremy Cameron in the final. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do.
Yep.
Leicester's an exceptional defender, but does he really like playing on those forwards who push up the ground?
Would you?
I
think he does, because it leaves Harris Andrews. He just has to play his role. If Cameron's getting kicks up on the ground, that's a good sign for Brisbane, because they'll have Harris Andrews back.
He'll be the one delivering it in.
Yeah. They got Starcevic back that night too, Brisbane, which made a big difference. I think Brisbane can win. if Stanley doesn't play, I think they'll definitely win because it takes out a few strategic options or tactical options.
Ruck, just split halves, then play in the ruck.
You'd think so. I'm not sure. Mitch Edwards had a good end to the season, but I don't think he's going to make his debut in a final.
Does Chris Scott do those sort of things?
Not really. I mean, he does take punts, but he's not a...
he's not Luke Beveridge, wildcard puller.
No. I mean, one of the things that Geelong do really well is they back in good players who fill their role without them having to be superstars. Dangerfield's primed, so they'll have to find a matchup for him, which will be really interesting.
Yeah.
Darcy Gardner, you imagine, will scratch and scrawl and do all those things.
The other reason I really like Geelong is that Brisbane, without their key forwards from last year, I mean, we've spoken about Joe Danaher all year and Logan Morris has stepped up, but then to lose Eric Hitwood on top of not having Danaher last year, it's placing a lot of responsibility on a second-year player. And I feel like Brisbane would, again, like the first qualifying final, that Brisbane would have to dominate in the midfield to give their forwards that opportunity. Because if they're not dominating, then the pressure comes on. They're not going to be able to kick long and try and rely on their forwards to take the marks. They're going to have to kind of shift the angles, really rely on precision passing, and I don't think you can place that sort of game in finals. I think finals you've got to embrace imperfection, and when the pressure's on, being able to pinpoint passes inside 50, I don't think that's a way to win a final.
You'd be a great finals performer, because you embraced imperfection. You had to a long time ago, didn't you?
Nobody's perfect. Football's about imperfection.
No, well, life's about imperfection. That's why I admire you so much. Now, I've forgotten who I'm tipping here. I was in and ahhing so much.
Well, you got to state a case for Brisbane.
I've stated the case. They've got their ball use is a way that actually worries Geelong. They chip and charge and change the angles and move the ball with uncontested possessions and uncontested marks, and it stretches Geelong.
Is that 100 uncontested marks still a thing, or 100 marks?
Well, it would be, but I don't think Geelong will let them get away with 100 uncontested marks.
I don't think so. Chris Scott will be too smart for that.
Yeah, but I think that they can actually worry Geelong with their run through the middle, and it doesn't allow them to get their defence set as easily, and I think that's critical to Geelong. Jack Henry and Tom Stewart, if you can take them out of the play, you go a long way to ripping through them and kicking a winning score, and I think Brisbane will be able to do that. Their midfield is better. McCluggage, Lachie Neale, Jared Berry, Zach Bailey, Cam Rayner, the Ashcroft brothers.
Does their defence worry you without Hainsworth?
Won't get down there.
On top of Jack Payne.
Won't get down there. No, it does worry me a bit. I mean, clearly, I just think Geelong need to make the most of their opportunities, and that's hard in a final. And big forwards, Jeremy Cameron's a great finals player and a great player, but big forwards struggle to kick bags in finals.
I don't think they need him to kick a bag, but I feel like they just need him to play the way.
I reckon this will be an outstanding game, because I actually really love the way both teams play. They play a little bit different styles. They're both highly skilled and tough. It'll be a ripping contest.
And you know that they're not going to, what's the right way to put it? They're not going to get frightened by the big stage either. No,
and despite my arguments, I'm tipping Geelong.
Yeah, I'm tipping Geelong. I think those two will end up playing in the grand final as
really?
well.
No,
yeah.
Adelaide. If Adelaide win,
I think
entry.
I think Brisbane can.
You're not pass go.
I think Brisbane or Geelong can come back to the MCG via Adelaide and do it, get it done.
Well, I'm happy with your optimism.
I'm tipping the Cats.
Good on us. Both of us tipping
the Cats. Very close one.
Go the Cats.
This could go to extra time.
Given I tipped Brisbane to win the premiership and I've tipped the Cats to win this game.
Well, so you must think that they're going to go through, and you disagreed with me when I said
yesterday, though. Today, this just shows where I've got to in my tipping. It's a disaster.
And the other stat here, when two plays 3, it's 17-8 in favour of the second team.
Yeah, well, they get the home ground, which helps.
But it's quite a pronounced advantage, actually. I thought they'd be, clearly 2 would win more than 3, but I didn't think it'd be quite as lopsided as that, 68%.
Well, the top 4 teams deserve to be the top 4 teams, let's face it.
Yeah, they're the 4 best in it.
Yeah.
We're online all the time. Just search Age Real Footy on Facebook or Twitter.
Next game, Saturday afternoon, Greater Western Sydney against Hawthorn at NG Stadium, a venue where the Hawks are 0 from 8.
Hawthorn's 0 from 8. Right, there's I rest my case. This is why the Giants can win.
State your case for the Giants.
This is why the Giants can win, because they are undefeated at NG Stadium against Hawthorn. 0-8-8-0. They're getting Jesse Hogan back.
Two of those losses actually for Hawthorn were during COVID against other teams.
Oh.
But it doesn't matter. The point is that
Hawthorn hates NG Stadium. Whenever they rock up, they lose. It'll happen again. Jesse Hogan is returning. The only query I have is making significant changes. If Jack Buckley doesn't get up, then that is a bit of a worry for their defence, but they've got a fair bit of depth down there. I think that they'll get midfield ascendancy slightly. They need to be on their game, though, because Giants have been a bit hot and cold in that area.
They've been the most unpredictable team over the top 8 sides.
And Hawthorn will scrap hard against them, even though they obviously are a little bit depleted in that area compared to their opposition. They'll need a lot from Jesse Hogan, and they'll need a lot from Toby Green just to convert their inside 50s. I can't say that they've got pace advantage on them, but they certainly match them for pace. They're at home. They're an experienced finals operation, the Giants, and I would expect them to win this comfortably.
Are you worried, though, with...
Not comfortably, that's rubbish. I expect them to win.
Just the state of the health of their list. They could have Jesse Hogan, Stephen Cornelia, Jake Stringer, Josh Kelly, all coming back this week. I don't think Brent Daniels will play, and there's a big question mark over Jack Buckley. But that's still 4 players, 4 ins, albeit they're senior players.
Yeah, that worries me. That is certainly a concern. You don't want to... Even Kingsley said it after the last game. He was weighing up how many changes you can actually make. And Brent Daniels, your man, he played VFL. I'm surprised he's not...
he left the track early during the week.
Well, he's
important to them.
He's an outstanding player. But still, the Giants have enough talent on the park. You don't worry about your outs. You just worry about what runs on the ground.
Yeah, Jesse Hogan's an interesting selection because clearly he's not at his fittest. He's got this foot issue, which I think if you speak to other clubs, they're probably wondering. I think he's in a bit of trouble.
Yep.
But the player who will benefit from Hogan playing is Aaron Cadman.
Correct.
I think that I'm going to make a bit of a call here. I reckon Aaron Cadman is going to have a Tom Hawkins-like 2011 grand final series here. I think this can be the month where he announces himself as a bona fide star because he's threatened at bits and pieces to do it, and there's been a few moments in games where he has a big 10 minutes and kicks a couple of goals. But I reckon he's ready to be the man, and I think we're going to see this with Hogan. With Hogan back, gives him a more favourable matchup this week. And
Toby Graham is back in a bit of form, wasn't he, in the last game?
Oh, yeah. What his last 5 minutes? Some of the marks he took.
Ridiculous.
They were phenomenal.
I just, Cadman, geez, if he's going to do a Tom Hawkins, they're going to have to win every game.
Well, he won't be the reason they lose. And then you pick up the paper on Sunday and Cadman's had 4 possessions and hasn't kicked a goal.
I was just thinking, you beauty, I've got a chance now to watch this game with more than just,
But I've been watching him closely, Cadman, the last 12 months, and he gets better and better every time. And I think with the question marks over Hogan, I think Aaron Cadman will have been stealing himself in the last few weeks to be the difference maker.
And he'll be playing on All-Australian Josh Battle and trying to dominate.
Controversial All-Australian selection. But make a case for Hawthorn.
Yep.
They don't bat as deep in the midfield, so they need John Newcombe to have a big one.
Yep.
Will Day.
Which he will.
They need him.
He's a great player.
Weddle, I'm not too sure. Do they pick him? Should they pick him?
Yes, he'll be in.
I think they're asking a little bit too much for him to be the player that he could be off his preparation.
He'll come in for CJ, I would have thought.
Yeah. Will he be the sub? No. But I think where Hawthorn can win it is in their forward line with just the question mark over Buckley. I quite like Hawthorn's forwards. Mabia Chol is a better player than I thought he would be. I thought this year he might struggle, given he had a good one last year and teams would go to work on him. But he's actually proven himself to be a very commendable forward and one who can, I think, make an impact in a top team.
He's good. I'm tipping that he's going to have a Tom Hawkins-like breakout season. Final series.
Mabia Chol.
Yeah, Mabia Chol. No, I'm joking.
Jack Gunston. Wonder who Taylor will go to. Or rather, does Gunston go to Sam Taylor and try and negate him?
Could do that.
And then make him accountable.
He's a smart footballer, isn't he, Jack Gunston? I don't even know what he's doing, but I just know what it ends up being.
Well, Sam Taylor's also very smart.
Yeah, but Gunston's a sensational finals player too.
Yeah, I think.
Do you think they'll play Lewis? A friend of mine who follows the Hawks closely thinks Butler might come in for
Mitch Lewis,
and they play the 3 talls rather than the 4 talls.
I prefer Hawthorn with 3 talls rather than 4. Yep. I know. Was Jack Gunston talking to you or Michael Gleeson? Where he's talking about? Yeah, where he's talking. Oh well, we had 4 tall forwards back in the day at Hawthorn, but I mean 2 of them were Buddy Franklin and Jared Ruffhead.
I did think the same thing. I thought, well, not apples and apples, mate.
Exactly. And Mitch Lewis, he might be a bit unlucky, but I think if they need to drop one, he would be the one, given that he can't play a second ruck like Mabia Chol can. And I think you need Carl Shadir because he's just a little bit different to the others.
Yep.
And Mitch Lewis, I think once the ball hits the ground, he's not as productive as the others.
No.
Battle and
Barras,
I'm told.
Well, Barras. Yep, that's fine.
As in embarrass.
Tom.
That's where Hawthorn, I think, have a bit of a point of difference in defence. I mean, those two have been so solid during the year.
Most of the time, although Tom Barras...
Does he give you a few liberties?
Yeah. I wouldn't mind playing with Tom Barras.
They need those two to play well. Who will get... Barras will get Hogan.
Yeah.
So Battle's got the big job on Cadman.
Yep.
He needs to step up.
Sicily's important too. I mean, he's at his best. He makes Hawthorn a top 4 team.
He's been better though, hasn't he? Since he
has been much better. But he's an outstanding player. He's just had a poor season by his standards.
But I like Jarman Impey in defence as well. D'Ambrosio, they got the good run.
Who would play on Watson? Because he was brilliant in last year's final series.
Nick Watson from the Giants would be... Connor Iden would be a chance. He's a very important player. He's so versatile.
Yeah.
He's
better than
do they
Josh
play...
Bell.
Who would Whitfield get? Who's probably one of the
No, don't put Whitfield on.
No, Whitfield would probably have one of their
stuff.
Their less dangerous small forwards.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's hard to make a case for Hawthorn in this one.
I think the Giants will be shattered if they can't beat Hawthorn. Both teams actually will be shattered by their season if they bow out now.
I think both teams here are better than Freo and Gold Coast.
Oh,
it's a shame that they've got each other.
Yeah, not really. The Hawks had their chance and they finished 8th.
Well, they did, but I feel like they're better than
they are.
Fremantle and Gold Coast. But
I'm tipping the Giants.
Tipping the Giants as well. Hawthorn's record on the road this year, they haven't been able to beat the top sides, and that might be their undoing. Final stat, 5th v 8th, it's 15-10, favouring 5th.
Ooh, that's a bit closer, isn't it?
Gets a little bit closer. So
the 8th come in with a bit of momentum. Now we've got Fremantle Gold Coast
final
at
game.
Optus Stadium, one of your Saturday night specials that no one in Victoria cares about who wins. They'll look it up at the end and think...
You'll watch this final, won't you?
Yeah, of course.
Freo v Gold Coast.
I'll watch all the finals. I love the finals. But I'm not going to really be passionate about it. It'd be good to see David Swallow play. I think that's great that he's playing
declared
his final.
By Damien Hardwick.
247 games without a final, and he's been a warrior for the Suns, so that's great.
I quite enjoyed Damien Hardwick's speech about David Swallow the other night and how when everyone left, you stayed.
Yeah.
And as my producer pointed out, that 2 of the players who left were poached by Damien Hardwick.
Yeah, I know.
Tom Lynch and Dion Prestia.
I know. It's extraordinary, really. BS comes to mind.
Make your case for Fremantle.
The Dockers, the Dockers at home are a different proposition. That was a great win against the Bulldogs. We all saw their defensive system stand up with Alex Pearce, Luke Ryan, and Brendan Cox behind the ball. Jordan Clark has been an outstanding player this year, running off half-back, made All-Australian, and he was brilliant the last one.
Did you think he'd be this good when he left Geelong, Jordan Clark?
Everyone at Geelong thought they were surprised he couldn't get a game during 2020, but I think he had to mature a bit as well, to be fair to Geelong. And I think they were trying to teach him. I think the lessons he learned at Geelong have made him a better player at the Dockers than he may have been if they didn't try to put a bit of tough love into him.
Well, he's become a very good player. But the point you make about their defence is spot on, because in that first 10 minutes of the game against the Dogs,
they
could have been 4 goals down if they didn't defend as well as they did.
Yep, and then they've obviously got a good midfield. Caleb Sarong and Andrew Brayshaw are outstanding, and they've got the dual ruck combination, Darcy, who is played a really good back half of the year, and Luke Jackson's dangerous. And then the other thing that happened against the Dogs, which doesn't always happen, is that Josh Tracy and Jai Amiss, who's had a very...
He stepped up, didn't he?
Yeah, he started to kick a few goals.
Tracy plays with authority.
He does.
Real impact.
Yeah, he does. He charges at the ball, the big kahuna.
He's the sort of key forward you want in a final, because he's going to hit the pack hard. He might not kick 6 and take 15 marks or whatever, but he... No,
I love him as a player.
He competes.
And again, Hayden Young's just cherry on the top. Hasn't been there much of the year, but came in and he's an outstanding ball user. I think they've got the talent all over the ground. They'll be relieved to have made finals. They've got a home final. They can't lose this to the Suns, who come in with some momentum, but not really the same amount of momentum as like the Brisbane Bears did back in the day. It's kind of they've kind of limped into the finals, haven't they? Because their Port Adelaide performance
was disappointing, wasn't it?
And they've got excited about it, as they should, and congratulations for them to doing it. But it doesn't feel like it's like, right, well, finally, mate.
Are you comparing Gold Coast's first final to the Brisbane Bears' first final?
Well, they got close to Carlton.
Well, they were the closest team to get to Carlton that year.
I'm saying that it doesn't have that drama and excitement that carried. Fremantle by at least 8 goals.
Really? That's extraordinary. I give Gold Coast a massive show at this. I think Gold Coast...
What, by inside 8 goals?
No, I think Gold Coast can go close to winning this game. I think their best footy is up there with the best in the AFL this year. Their best footy is really good.
Too reliant on Rail and Anderson for mine.
Yeah, Miller, Rail, Anderson. But if they get on top, I mean, Freo are a strong contest team as well, strong clearance team. You're taking a lot of their firepower out if you can neutralise them. And Gold Coast have got they've got threats in the forward
Ben
line.
King's a big
Ben
threat.
King's big.
Yep.
Bailey Humphrey's a very good player.
Yep.
The question is, can they do it on the road, first final? I mean, it's a lot different in a final.
You know what the answer is? No.
I think they'll acquit themselves very well.
I hope they do.
Damien Hardwick coach teams. I don't think he'd be thinking, we've made the finals.
No, he wouldn't be at all.
Let's
He's a brilliant coach.
And the other thing is also, can they silence the crowd? Start well, just put that sense of panic in the crowd.
They will. This is different though, because a little bit of panic is something that you do associate with Fremantle.
Exactly. Fremantle aren't. I mean, they're not the most reliable team. And we saw, actually, do you remember that Freo Bulldogs game? Just how quiet the crowd became when
that's
Freo
true.
got on their run, and you could feel the tension.
I think
it'll be similar here if Gold Coast start well.
You've made a case. Fremantle win. No one in Victoria cares.
I care.
Yeah,
I'll be watching this game.
Yeah, it gives Geelong Brisbane a nice run into the preliminary if they lose, doesn't it?
Yeah, I can't see the winner of this game going much further, but I'm going to tip Fremantle by 1 point.
You're just being stupid now.
I think this is a coin toss game. I think this is a much closer game than people think.
Fair enough.
And
good
Gold
luck
Coast,
to Cadman and good luck to Gold Coast.
Where did Gold Coast... I mean, Port Adelaide, that was a disappointing game, but they won well last week against Essendon's VFL team. And I think their form previously has been
up and
pretty
down.
good as well.
Up and down.
I mean, they got there, as Damien Hardwick described, as a kick in the nuts against Adelaide, but they did beat Brisbane, and that wasn't all that long ago. So that shows you their capability. So, but anyway, it's going to be a great first week of finals. And have you got a tip for the premiership from here? Or
Yeah, Brisbane.
Give us a grand final tip.
Brisbane and Adelaide.
Brisbane, Adelaide. I'm going to tip Geelong and Brisbane in a grand final. And
Hope you're right.
I'll reserve my right to make the prediction on the day, but I think
Same.
Geelong's availability leads me to go with them for the flag 4 weeks out. So, okay, well, that's all we got time for today. Thanks for joining us. You can see the rest of the experts' tips at theage.com.au/AFL. Make sure to subscribe, rate and review wherever you get your podcasts. If you'd like to get in touch with us, send us an email, realfootypod@theage.com.au. We'd love to hear from you. The podcast will return on Monday. Thanks for listening, and if your team's still in it, may your team win.